In the history of the galaxy, only one species has ever made an entire empire disappear. Not through war, not through conquest, but through something far more terrifying: evolution itself. This is the story of humanity's final warning to the Vorthak Empire and what happened when that warning was ignored. 60,000 ships, 10,000 worlds, 5 million years of galactic dominance. All of it gone. And humanity? Humanity was just getting started. First Contact and the warning captain Elena Vasquez stood on the bridge of the TSS Discovery, watching the stars through the massive viewport. Her ship had been exploring the outer rim of the Kepler sector for 8 months now, mapping new worlds and searching for signs of intelligent life. The Discovery was humanity's most advanced exploration vessel, equipped with the latest technology and crewed by the best minds Earth had to offer. Captain, we're receiving an incoming transmission, announced communications officer Marcus Webb from his station. It's coming from the unexplored system ahead of us. Elena turned toward the main screen. Put it through, Marcus. The screen flickered to life, revealing a face that made several crew members gasp. The being before them stood nearly 10 feet tall, with dark purple skin covered in intricate silver markings. Its head was elongated, with 6 glowing orange eyes arranged in 2 rows. Sharp, crystalline spikes protruded from its shoulders and forehead, and when it spoke, rows of needle-like teeth were visible. I am Ambassador Kexthar of the Vorthak Empire, the creature announced in a voice that sounded like grinding metal. You will identify yourselves and state your purpose in our territory. Elena stepped forward, maintaining her calm demeanor despite the intimidating appearance of the alien. I'm Captain Elena Vasquez of the Terran Space Service vessel, Discovery. We're on a peaceful exploration mission, mapping uncharted systems. We weren't aware this area was claimed territory. Kexthar's 6 eyes focused on her with an intensity that made the bridge feel colder. Ignorance is not an excuse, human. The Vorthak Empire has ruled this sector of the galaxy for over 5,000 of your years. All species within our domain must acknowledge our authority and pay tribute. Tribute? Asked Elena, her eyebrows rising. What kind of tribute? Resources, technology, and a percentage of your population to serve the Empire, Kexthar replied matter-of-factly. This is the price of existing within Vorthak space. Those who refuse are eliminated. The bridge fell silent. Elena could feel the tension radiating from her crew. Science Officer Dr. James Park was frantically scanning the alien's ship, while Tactical Officer Lieutenant Sarah Martinez had her hand hovering near the weapons console. Ambassador Kexthar, Elena said carefully, humanity appreciates your introduction to the Vorthak Empire. However, we must respectfully decline your tribute demands. We're a peaceful species, but we don't bow to threats or become anyone's servants. The alien's expression shifted to what might have been amusement. You speak of peace while refusing to submit. This is contradictory, human. The Vorthak Empire has conquered over 200 species. We have perfected the art of war across millennia. What makes you believe your small, primitive species can resist us? Elena felt a surge of anger but kept her voice steady. Because we're not primitive and we're not small. Humanity has survived ice ages, plagues, world wars, and the journey to the stars. We've learned that freedom is worth fighting for. I'm giving you fair warning, Ambassador. Leave human space immediately, or you'll discover exactly what makes us different. Kexthar's laugh was a sound like breaking glass. A warning? From creatures who have barely learned to leave their birth system? Your entire species controls, 50 worlds? The Vorthak Empire spans 10,000 systems. Your warning is noted and dismissed. Don't say we didn't warn you. Elena replied firmly. The transmission ended abruptly. Elena turned to her crew, who were looking at her with a mixture of admiration and concern. Captain Dr. Park said, checking his readings, their ship is massive, at least 10 times our size, and the energy signatures suggest weapons technology far beyond anything we have. How many ships? Elena asked. The sensors are detecting at least 50 vessels in their fleet, Lieutenant Martinez reported, all of them larger than anything in our Navy. Elena nodded grimly. Marcus, send an immediate priority message to Earth Command. Tell them we've made contact with a hostile alien empire and that we're likely looking at war. Include all sensor data and the recording of this conversation. Message sent, Captain, Marcus confirmed, but it'll take 3 weeks to reach Earth. Then we'd better hope they take our warnings seriously and prepare, Elena said. She looked out at the stars, knowing that somewhere out there, the Vorthack fleet was probably already planning their attack point. 3 days later, the Discovery detected multiple Vorthack ships entering human space. Elena had positioned her ship at the edge of the solar system containing New Geneva, humanity's newest colony. She knew that Discovery couldn't win a fight against the alien fleet, but she was determined to buy the colonists time to evacuate. Incoming transmission from the Vorthack fleet, Marcus announced. Kexthar appeared on screen again, but this time he wasn't alone. Behind him stood several other Vorthack, each one looking even more intimidating than the ambassador. Human Captain, Kexthar began, you have had time to reconsider our generous offer. Will your species submit to the Empire, or must we demonstrate the consequences of defiance? We told you our answer, Elena replied. Humanity doesn't surrender. Then, you have chosen extinction, the alien said coldly. We will begin with this colony world. Watch as we harvest its resources and process its inhabitants. Perhaps when your leaders see what happens to those who defy us, they will be more reasonable. The screen went dark. Elena turned to her crew, seeing fear, but also determination in their faces. All hands, battle stations, she announced over the ship's intercom. This is what we train for. We may be outgunned, but we're not outmatched. Remember, we're not just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for every human being in the galaxy. The Vorthack fleet moved toward New Geneva like a dark cloud. Their ships were sleek and predatory, bristling with weapons that glowed with ominous energy. The lead vessel was a massive dreadnought that dwarfed anything humanity had ever built. Captain, Lieutenant Martinez called out, the colony's defense platforms are powering up, but they won't last long against that fleet. Elena watched as the first shots were fired. The Vorthack weapons cut through the defense platforms like they were made of paper. Brilliant explosions lit up space as humanity's defenses crumbled, but then something unexpected happened. The colonists on New Geneva didn't panic or surrender. Instead, they fought back with a ferocity that surprised even Elena. Mining equipment was converted into weapons, civilian ships became improvised fighters, and every human on the planet seemed determined to make the aliens pay for every inch of ground. Captain, I'm reading something strange, Dr. Park said, studying his instruments. The colonists' biosigns are showing unusual patterns. Their adrenaline levels are off the charts, but their coordination and reaction times are actually improving. Elena frowned. What does that mean? I'm not sure, but it's like they're adapting to the combat situation in real time. Their performance is actually getting better as the fight continues. On the planet's surface, Elena could see through the tactical display that small groups of humans were holding off much larger Vorthack forces. They were using tactics that seemed to evolve minute by minute, adapting to alien strategies faster than should have been possible. The Vorthack are pulling back, Martinez reported in amazement. They're regrouping their ground forces. Through the comms, Elena could hear the voice of Colonel Marcus Reed, the colony's military commander. Discovery, this is New Geneva ground control. We're holding them, but barely. These aliens are tough, but they're not expecting us to fight like this. What do you mean, Colonel? Elena asked. They keep using the same tactics that probably worked on other species, Reed replied. But every time they try something, we adapt. It's like our people are learning faster than the aliens can adjust. Elena looked at Dr. Park, who was nodding slowly. Captain, I think I understand what's happening. Humans have always been adaptable, but under extreme stress, our neural plasticity might be accelerating. We're literally evolving our tactics and responses in real time. The battle continued for 6 hours. Against all odds, the human colonists not only held their ground, but began pushing the Vorthack forces back. Elena watched in amazement as civilian engineers figured out how to jam alien communications, farmers became expert snipers, and children helped coordinate defensive efforts with an efficiency that baffled the enemy. Finally, Kexthar's voice crackled over the comm system. "This is impossible," he snarled. "No species has ever resisted Vorthack conquest for more than 2 hours. Your people should be broken by now." Elena smiled grimly. "We tried to warn you, Ambassador. Humans don't break easily." "This changes nothing," Kexthar replied, but Elena could hear uncertainty in his voice. "We will return with more ships, more weapons. Your resistance only delays the inevitable." The Vorthack fleet withdrew, but Elena knew this was just the beginning. As she watched the alien ships disappear into hyperspace, she couldn't shake the feeling that something fundamental had changed during the battle. The humans on New Geneva had performed beyond any reasonable expectation, and Dr. Park's readings suggested they were still changing. "Captain," Marcus announced, "we're receiving a priority message from Earth Command." Admiral Catherine Foster appeared on the main screen, her expression grave. "Captain Vasquez, we've received your report, and we're mobilizing the entire fleet. But I need you to know, the Vorthack aren't just threatening us. We've received distress calls from 3 other human colonies in the past 12 hours. They're hitting us everywhere at once." Elena felt a chill run down her spine. "How many ships are we talking about, Admiral?" "Intelligence estimates over 5,000 Vorthack vessels are moving toward human space." "Elena, they're not just trying to conquer us. Based on their attack patterns, they're trying to wipe us out completely." The transmission ended, leaving Elena staring at the stars. The Vorthack had dismissed humanity's warning, and now they were facing a species that refused to surrender. But as Elena looked at the data from the battle, she realized the aliens had made a critical mistake. They had awakened something in humanity that had been sleeping, something that grew stronger with every challenge. The war was just beginning, but Elena had a feeling the Vorthack were about to learn why humanity's warnings should never be ignored. The war begins, Dr. Sarah Chun stood in the medical bay of the TSS Resilience, studying the latest batch of blood samples from human soldiers who had survived encounters with Vorthack forces. What she was seeing defied everything she knew about human biology. "This can't be right," she muttered, running the analysis for the third time. The genetic markers in the samples showed changes that should have taken thousands of years of evolution, not the few weeks since the war began. Captain Maria Rodriguez entered the medical bay, her uniform bearing the scorch marks of recent combat. "Doctor, I need your report. Command wants to know why our people are performing beyond normal human parameters." Sarah looked up from her microscope, her eyes wide with amazement. "Maria, I don't think what we're seeing is normal human parameters. I think we're witnessing something unprecedented." "Explain," Maria said, settling into a chair. She had been fighting the Vorthack for 3 weeks straight, and exhaustion showed in every line of her face. "Look at these readings," Sarah said, pulling up a holographic display. "Every human who has engaged in combat with the Vorthack is showing accelerated neural development, enhanced reflexes, and improved problem-solving capabilities. But that's not the strangest part." She manipulated the display to show a complex molecular structure. Their DNA is actively rewriting itself, not random mutations, but purposeful adaptations specifically designed to counter Vorthack advantages. Maria leaned forward. "Are you saying we're evolving?" "I'm saying we're evolving consciously," Sarah replied. "It's as if human consciousness itself is directing genetic changes in response to the threat. The more pressure the Vorthack apply, the faster and more dramatic the adaptations become." Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent comm from the bridge. "Captain Rodriguez, please report to the command center immediately. We're receiving multiple distress calls." Maria and Sarah hurried to the bridge, where they found communications Officer Lieutenant David Kim coordinating responses to what appeared to be dozens of emergency transmissions. Status report, Maria demanded as she took her position. Captain, it's chaos out there, Kim replied. 17 human colonies are under simultaneous attack. The Vorthak are using a coordinated assault pattern unlike anything we've seen before. The main screen displayed a tactical map of human space. Red indicators showed Vorthak fleets attacking colonies across a front spanning hundreds of light years. It was clearly a systematic campaign designed to overwhelm human defenses. They're learning, too, observed Tactical Officer Commander James Liu. Each attack is more sophisticated than the last. They're adapting to our defensive strategies. Then we adapt faster, Maria said grimly. What's our current fleet status? We have the Resilience, the Defiant, and the New Hope in the sector, Liu reported. Admiral Foster is coordinating the overall defense, but we're spread thin across too many systems. Sarah was studying the battle reports on her tablet. Captain, I'm seeing something interesting in these casualty reports. Human losses are decreasing with each engagement, while Vorthak casualties are increasing exponentially. How is that possible? Maria asked. Our people are learning, Sarah explained, not just tactically but biologically. Each generation of fighters is literally superior to the previous one. The adaptations are happening so fast that soldiers who survive one battle are significantly enhanced by the time they face the next. The proof of Sarah's theory came sooner than expected. 3 hours later, the Vorthak fleet arrived at the Tau Ceti system, where the Resilience was protecting a mining colony. Maria watched as 30 alien ships dropped out of hyperspace, their dark hulls bristling with weapons. Incoming transmission. Kim announced that a new Vorthak commander appeared on screen, this one even larger and more heavily armored than Kexthar. I am War Prime Vexcon of the Vorthak Conquest Fleet. Your species has proven more troublesome than anticipated, but this ends now. Surrender, and we will allow 10% of your population to survive as slaves. Maria stood tall, her voice steady and defiant. This is Captain Maria Rodriguez of the Terran Space Service. We gave you one warning already, and you ignored it. Now you get to see what happens when humans fight for their survival. Vexcon's expression showed what might have been confusion. Your ship is alone against 30 of ours. Your colony has minimal defenses. How do you expect to resist? Watch and learn, Maria replied, cutting the transmission. The battle that followed became legendary in human military history. The miners on Tau Ceti III, with no military training, organized themselves into combat units with an efficiency that shocked even Maria. They used industrial equipment to create weapons that could damage Vorthak armor, and their tactics evolved in real time as they fought in space. The Resilience danced between the alien ships like a fighter among heavy bombers. Maria's crew seemed to anticipate enemy movements before they happened. Their reaction times faster than any training could account for. Captain, Sarah called from her station, I'm monitoring the crew's biometrics. Their neural activity is synchronized. They're somehow sharing information at a subconscious level. What do you mean? Maria asked while directing the ship through a barrage of alien fire. They're becoming a collective intelligence, Sarah explained in amazement. Individual human minds are networking together, sharing skills and knowledge instantly. The gunner's accuracy is improving because he's unconsciously accessing the navigator's spatial awareness. On the planet's surface, the same phenomenon was occurring. Human defenders were coordinating complex maneuvers without radio communication, as if they shared a single tactical mind. Vorthak forces, accustomed to fighting individuals or simple group tactics, found themselves facing an opponent that seemed to think and react as one organism. The tide of battle turned when something unprecedented happened. A group of human engineers, trapped in a mining facility surrounded by Vorthak soldiers, did something that should have been impossible. Working together, they somehow caused the alien weapons to malfunction simply by focusing their combined will on the devices. Captain, are you seeing this? Lieutenant Kim called out, his voice filled with wonder. Maria looked at the tactical display, showing the mining facility. The Vorthak weapons had simply stopped working, and the aliens were retreating in confusion. Sarah, what just happened down there? Maria asked. Sarah was staring at her readings in disbelief. I think human consciousness just learned to directly affect matter at the quantum level. The engineers didn't do anything physical to those weapons. They changed them through focused intention. The battle ended with the Vorthak fleet in full retreat. 30 ships had been reduced to 7, and those survivors were fleeing as fast as their engines could carry them. But the real shock came from Vexcon's final transmission. The massive alien commander appeared on screen, his previous arrogance replaced by something that looked like fear. "What are you?" he demanded. "No species develops this rapidly. No species can alter reality through will alone. The Empire has encountered thousands of civilizations, but nothing like this." Maria smiled coldly. "We're exactly what we told you we were. We're humans, and we warned you to leave us alone." "This is not over," Vexcon snarled, but his voice lacked conviction. "The Empire will find a way to defeat you." "The Empire is welcome to try," Maria replied, "but each time you attack us, we become something more than we were before. How long do you think your ancient empire can survive against a species that evolves faster than you can adapt?" The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. Then Sarah spoke, her voice filled with wonder and concern. "Captain, I don't think we're entirely human anymore. The genetic changes, the collective consciousness, the ability to affect matter through focused will, we're becoming something new." Maria looked out at the stars, processing the implications. "Are we becoming something better or something dangerous?" "Maybe both," Sarah replied honestly. "The question is, what happens when we finish evolving?" Reports from across human space confirmed what they had witnessed. Every battle with the Vorthak was resulting in human victory, but also in further changes to human capabilities. Soldiers were developing enhanced strength and speed. Scientists were solving problems through intuitive leaps that bordered on precognition, and entire communities were beginning to share collective awareness. Admiral Foster's latest briefing revealed the scope of the transformation. "In 3 weeks of warfare, we've gone from being overwhelmed by superior alien technology to winning every engagement. Our casualty rates have dropped by 90%, while Vorthak losses have increased 5-fold. But the most disturbing report came from the outer colonies. We're receiving strange reports from the frontier worlds," Admiral Foster continued. "Vorthak ships are disappearing. Not destroyed, disappearing. Entire fleets are simply vanishing from our sensors." Maria felt a chill run down her spine. If humans were evolving this rapidly under pressure, what would they become if the pressure continued? And what would happen to their enemies? The answer would come sooner than anyone expected. The disappearance Admiral Catherine Foster stood in the command center of Earth's orbital defense station, staring at a tactical display that showed something impossible. Across human space, red indicators marking Vorthak fleets were simply vanishing one by one. "Admiral," reported Colonel Sandra Hayes, "we've confirmed it across 12 sectors. Vorthak ships aren't being destroyed. They're just ceasing to exist. No debris, no energy signatures, nothing." Dr. Sarah Chun, now serving as Chief Science Advisor to the Defense Council, was studying the quantum readings from the affected areas. "Admiral, I think I understand what's happening, but you're not going to like it." "Explain," Foster said grimly. Sarah brought up a complex holographic model showing quantum field fluctuations. Human consciousness has evolved to the point where it can directly manipulate reality at the fundamental level. We're not just thinking the Vorthak ships out of existence, we're literally editing them out of the universe. The implications hit Foster immediately. "Are you saying we're committing genocide through thought?" "I'm saying humanity has become something that shouldn't exist according to known physics," Sarah replied. "We're a species whose collective will can override the basic laws of reality. The more threatened we feel, the more powerful this ability becomes." Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent transmission from Captain Elena Vasquez, still commanding the Discovery at the edge of human space. "Admiral Foster, Elena's voice was tight with concern. We've just received a transmission from the NIGMA Empire's capital world. You need to hear this. The main screen showed a figure that made everyone in the command center gasp. It was clearly Vorthak, but ancient and massive, seated on what appeared to be a throne made of crystallized starlight. When it spoke, its voice carried the weight of millennia. I am Emperor Zarthok, ruler of the Vorthak Empire for 8,000 of your years. I speak to the human species with words I have never before uttered in my reign. We surrender. Foster found her voice first. You surrender? We have lost 60% of our fleets, the Emperor continued. Not to your weapons, but to something far more terrifying. Your species possesses an ability that violates every natural law. You are making our ships, our people, our very existence cease. We have faced 10,000 species in our history of conquest. None have ever made us afraid. You do. The Emperor leaned forward, his multiple eyes reflecting what could only be described as terror. We offer complete withdrawal from all human space technology transfers and tribute in exchange for one thing, a promise that you will not expand beyond your current borders. Foster looked at Sarah, who was monitoring quantum readings from across the galaxy. Sarah, what are the current expansion rates of this effect? It's accelerating, Sarah said quietly. The quantum disruption field around human space is growing exponentially. At current rates, it will encompass the entire Vorthak Empire within 6 months. Emperor Zarthok seemed to sense their discussion. We know our time is limited. Our scientists estimate that existence itself becomes impossible within the field your species generates. We have begun evacuating our people to distant galaxies, but our ships break down the moment they enter areas touched by human consciousness. Captain Maria Rodriguez's voice crackled over the comm from the Resilience. Admiral, I'm reading similar reports from other alien species throughout the sector. They're all fleeing ahead of what they're calling the human wave, a zone where their technology and biology simply can't function. Foster realized they were facing a crisis that went far beyond war. Emperor Zarthok, what exactly are you asking of us? Control yourselves, the ancient alien pleaded. Learn to contain whatever you have become. We will leave you in peace, but please do not let your influence spread beyond your current territory. There are millions of civilizations in this galaxy. If your effect continues to expand, you will inadvertently exterminate them all. The transmission ended, leaving the command center in stunned silence. Foster looked around at her staff, seeing the same realization dawning on all their faces. We've become the ultimate threat, Foster said slowly. Not through malice, but through evolution. Dr. Sarah Chun was furiously analyzing data from across human space. Admiral, I think I can explain what happened. The war with the Vorthak didn't just accelerate our evolution, it triggered something that was always latent in human consciousness. She brought up a new display showing brain activity patterns from humans across the galaxy. We're naturally quantum entangled as a species. Every human mind is connected at a subconscious level to every other human mind. The threat from the Vorthak caused this network to activate defensively. You're saying all of humanity is now one collective consciousness? Foster asked. Not exactly, Sarah replied. We're still individuals, but we're individuals within a species-wide quantum field that responds to collective will. When we felt threatened, that field began editing reality to eliminate the threat. Captain Elena Vasquez appeared on the screen from the Discovery. Admiral, we're receiving reports from the frontier colonies. People there saying they can sense Vorthak ships approaching before they appear on sensors. Some are claiming they can make the alien vessels disappear just by concentrating on them. The scope of humanity's transformation was becoming clear. They had evolved beyond mere intelligence or physical capabilities. They had become a species that could impose their will directly on reality itself. What about other species? Foster asked. The friendly ones we've encountered? Sarah checked her readings. They seem to be adapting. Their biology is slowly changing to become compatible with the quantum field we're generating. In a few generations, they might become similar to us. And the ones that can't adapt, they cease to exist, Sarah said quietly, not through any conscious decision on our part, but because reality itself is reshaping around human consciousness. Over the following weeks, the true extent of humanity's transformation became apparent. Vorthack territories continued to empty as their entire civilization fled to distant galaxies. Other alien species either adapted and joined human space as allies, or simply vanished when the quantum field reached them. Captain Rodriguez reported the strangest development from the Resilience. Admiral, we've detected something at the edge of our galaxy. Ships from the Andromeda Galaxy are gathering just outside the quantum field's influence. They're studying us, but they won't come closer. Dr. Chen's analysis revealed why. The quantum field is expanding beyond our galaxy. Other galactic civilizations are monitoring us, trying to determine if we're a threat to the entire universe. Foster realized they were facing a responsibility unlike anything in human history. Sarah, can we control this? I think so, Sarah replied. The field responds to collective human will. If we consciously choose to limit its expansion, it should stabilize at our current borders. The decision was made in a historic vote involving every human settlement in the galaxy. By an overwhelming margin, humanity chose to contain their quantum field, limiting it to their current territory and establishing controlled zones where other species could interact safely with humans. Emperor Zarthok sent one final message. The Vorthack Empire acknowledges humanity as the new dominant power in this galaxy. We have withdrawn to the Magellanic Clouds, where we will remain. We leave behind our technology and our territory as tribute to your mercy. But the most profound change came from within humanity itself. Dr. Chen's final report showed that humans were learning to consciously control their reality-shaping abilities. Children born after the war could manipulate matter through focused thought, communicate telepathically across vast distances, and perceive quantum probabilities as easily as seeing color. Admiral Foster stood once again in the command center, but now the displays showed a galaxy where humanity served as protectors rather than conquerors. The quantum field had stabilized, creating a zone of space where human consciousness ensured peace and prosperity for all species willing to coexist. We warned them, Foster said to herself, remembering Captain Vasquez's first encounter with the Vorthack. We told them what would happen if they threatened us. Captain Vasquez, now promoted to Admiral, appeared on the screen from her new flagship. Catherine, we're receiving contact requests from civilizations in 17 different galaxies. Word of what happened here has spread, and they want to establish diplomatic relations. Foster smiled. Tell them we welcome peaceful contact, but make sure they understand the same warning we gave the Vorthack. Humanity will defend itself and its allies with everything we have, and if they ask what that means. Foster looked out at the stars, knowing that among them were human colonies where children were learning to reshape reality with their thoughts, where scientists were solving the deepest mysteries of the universe through intuitive quantum awareness, and where the collective will of humanity stood guard against any threat. Tell them to ask the Vorthack Empire, Foster replied, if they can find them. The galaxy had learned that some warnings should never be ignored. Humanity had tried diplomacy first, but when forced to fight, they had become something beyond what anyone could have imagined. They had become the guardians of reality itself, and the universe was a safer place because of distant galaxies. The remnants of the Vorthack Empire told cautionary tales of the young species that had warned them once, and only once. Other civilizations listened carefully, understanding that some powers in the universe were better as friends than enemies. Humanity had kept their promise. They had shown exactly what made them different, and the cosmos would never be the same.